Okay guys, as per your request, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a 3D logo.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
Without touching the 3D effects, but I will also show you how to apply 3D rotation to any logo you wish, depending on the project you are working on. So first let's see how to create or recreate this kind of wavy looking logo. And you might have seen this effect on YouTube. You might have seen people using like 3D effects right here, like extrude and bevel or revolve probably, and then mapping art, playing with symbols and so on. But what would you say if I told you that I created this line, this wave rather, with just one line and 2 clicks? Yes, one line and 2 clicks. So if you don't believe me, let me show you how to do that. So first let me just prepare my my workspace. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna clone this artboard to the right, and I'm gonna get rid of this logo. Okay, so before I start creating this logo, I want to make sure that my snap to grid option is turned on. So I will go to the view menu and then turn snap to grid on. I will also make sure that the grid is visible. So I will click show grid like so. And what I want to do right now is first I want to make sure that I only have the stroke and I have no fill, because that's going to be easier for me to work with. And I'm gonna use the pen tool, which you can access in the tools panel or simply by pressing the P key. And I'm just gonna go ahead and click somewhere here on this intersection and click and drag to the right by 3, 4, 5 increments like so. And then I'm gonna click down here and again drag to the left by 5 increments. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like so. And believe it or not, we are almost done. I mean, we are done with the creation tools. So now I will just hide the grid and I will turn snap to grid off. What I need to do right now is to clone this guy to the right. So I'm gonna click it, and by holding down the Shift and the Alt on the PC or Option on the Mac keys, I'm gonna simply clone it to the right like so. And what I need to do right now is I need to have one shape. I need to create one shape out of these 2 lines. So what I need to do is to simply join these guys, right? Right. So I'm gonna go to Object, Path, and Join. Of course, I still need these guys to join as well. So this time I'm just gonna go ahead and use the combination of Control or Command on a Mac plus J like so. And as you can see, we have created a nicely looking wavy path. Let's call it like that, wavy path. Okay, so now what I want to do is I need to clone it to the right. So I'm going to hold down the Alt or again Option on the Mac and Shift and clone it to the right, but not that far away from the previous guy, because I want this guy to act as a shadow. So I think this will be fine. And by default, this guy is on top of the previous guy, so I want to move it all the way to the back. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Object, Arrange, Send to Back. And this guy on top, I will make, say, maybe gray for now. All that's left to do right now is to simply clone and reflect, and that will be it. It's that simple, guys, really, it's that simple. So just clone these guys to the right, again by holding down the Alt and Option on a Mac and Shift keys together, just like so. And what I want to do right now is to simply duplicate the last transformation. So I'm going to go to Object, Transform, and Transform again, just like so. What I want to do right now is I want to recreate this kind of a wave pattern. So what I need to do is I will need to reflect these guys. So I'm going to go to the reflect tool by pressing the O key on the keyboard and then enter or return if you're on a Mac. And of course I don't want to hit OK, I want to hit copy, just like so. And I will move these guys simply to the right, and let's take a closer look and see how much to the right we actually need to move these guys. I think that's going to be enough. And I will send them all the way to the back, like so, by pressing the combination of Control or Command on a Mac plus Shift plus left bracket. And all that's left to do right now is to simply select these guys, clone them to the right. I think this should be fine, and send them all the way to the back as well, just like so. And there we go. We are almost done, believe it or not. And how long did it take us? Like 5-6 minutes? Something like that. So now what I want to do is I will just rotate these guys and maybe reflect them to have something like this. And now I will add gradient to these paths. So I will select one, add a gradient, and remember that I showed you one way of adding colors to gradient stops, right? So usually we would just double click on it and choose a swatch from the swatches panel, or just play around with these sliders right here. But there's a different way of adding colors to these gradient stops, and I would like to share it with you because I take care about you. I want to show you. I want to show you different ways of achieving same ends, same effects. So with the stop active, I'm going to go to the swatches panel, and in here I will hold down the Alt or Option. I would hold Option if I was on a Mac, and simply hit well, any of the swatches, just like so. So if I hold down the Alt key, I'm gonna just add any color to the gradient, just like so. So again, I'm gonna go to the gradient slider and select this stop to the left, and holding down the Alt key, I'm gonna select maybe this swatch right now. Or maybe I'm gonna go with these gray ones, why not? So again, I'm gonna click this guy and then Alt click right here. Then I'm gonna select this guy and Alt click this guy right here. And all that's left to do now is to simply select these guys, and with the help of the eyedropper tool that you can make active by pressing the I key on the keyboard, just sample this top path. Same goes for these bottom paths as well. And almost the same goes for these middle paths. So I'm going to select these guys. And in the gradient panel, I'm just going to reverse the gradient, just like so. We can also play around with the size. We can play around with the width, anything you want really. You can even leave it like that. So all that's left to do is to simply type in special 3D. It kind of looks like special ed, but that wasn't my intention. Okay, the font I went with is called Poppins, and it's a Google font. You can find it on Google Fonts. And I'm going to go with semi-bold, give it some maybe, yeah, I guess a nice gray color will be fine. And again, you can play around with it. Just think how, notice how much easier it is than to create this effect with the 3D effects and expanding the appearance, and then just checking which path or segment to choose, and then apply colors to it, so on and so forth. We can simply grab all these guys and just reflect them, rotate them, scale them, do whatever we want just in a matter of seconds. So there you go. This is our 3D logo without 3D created. But what if you simply had you had a simple logo and you wanted to at least see what it looks like in a 3D space? So let me show you the easiest way to do that. This is the logo that we came up with, we designed for a client. By the way, I'm going to show you how to create it in a different video, in another video. We also had different concepts. So there were 3 other concepts. Well, the client chose this one. That's a different story. But let me show you how to put this logo in a 3D space. So what I need to do first is of course to select these guys, and and it's best to keep it as a group. So if it's not a group, if your logo is not a group, or maybe if it's just one shape, then it's fine. But if it's different shapes, then don't forget to make it a group. And then let's go to the Effect menu. Let's go to 3D, and let's go to Rotate, just like so. And in here, I'm going to turn the preview on. We want this shape to be rotated only like this. Right, so only around the y-axis, I believe it is. Yes, around the y-axis. We don't want it to rotate like this, not like this, just like this. So all we need to do is to enter 0 right here, and that's the x-axis. For the z-axis, we're going to enter 0 as well, and we only want to play around with the y-axis. So let's see what we're going to get. Well, as you can see, it is rotating, but it looks kind of funky. So let's see what it looks like. It's not really what we want, right? It's not looking 3D at all. This is a real... That's why I took a pause. This is a really important step right here. You cannot forget about the perspective. For this rotation to work, we need to crank up the perspective. Usually 100 works best. So if you leave it as 100 and then just play around with the y-axis value, you can see that we are now rotating our logo. Maybe minus 35, that's fine. And as you can see, our logo looks well, it looks like it's in 3D. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two. We saw how to create a 3D logo like this one without even touching the 3D effects right here. And we also learned how to put a simple flat looking logo in a 3D space. So keep your heads up for different videos. I'm going to be uploading different, well, first I think I'm going to upload a video showing you how to create this kind of logo. And I hope you learned a thing or two, and have a nice day, and take care.